Nigeria, a vibrant tapestry of places, people, stories, struggles, and unshakable spirits. Politicians make promises, but who really holds them accountable? I'm Tony Kobara, and this isn't just about politics. This is about us. This is where we confront the hard truths that few say publicly. Hello everyone. Well, this week, my topic is something that has been bothering me for years. It's this question of why Nigerians are so reluctant to protest. And I mean meaningful protest, not complaining in your house or bitching with your friends in a beer parlor or in a staff room in a school or whatever. I mean, get out there on the streets, make your feelings known, carry placards, write open letters to the president or the governor or whatever. That's what I mean when I talk about protest, vigorous mass action, groups of people coming together to say, no, enough is enough. In a country where corruption is rife, inflation is insane, insecurity is widespread, children get snatched from schools and abducted, and farmers are attacked by bandits, herdsmen, whatever. Kidnapping, well, I'm a victim of kidnapping, and I can tell you, I was kidnapped 10 years ago and it's still very commonplace, okay? So what we're looking at is a country where bad governance is the norm. I mean, I'm currently waging a campaign of complaints against the existing head of state, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his favorite sidekicks. But truth be told, some of these problems predate him. Been going on for years and years and decades and decades. And after all, the worst school abduction took place under President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Buhari, the one before Tinubu, was the originator of the economic calamity that we're going through now. So this time, I'm not just complaining about Tinubu. I'm complaining about a country where things have been going badly wrong for a long time. And yet, the citizens seem so kind of bovine and passive, and occasionally you get little outbursts of complaining or protest, but nothing massive, nothing sustained. People often talk about the EndSARS process, where young people took to the streets, mostly in Lagos, and some of them did get injured or killed. And, I don't want to downplay that, but in some countries, these things happen, and yet the protests go on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Here, it's very easy to break everything up in a few days. When I say to break everything up, I mean it's easy for the government to put a stop to protests. And generally, the protests don't even start in any significant way in the first place, right? Now, my excuse is that I'm too old. I'm 65 years old. I don't mind carrying placards. I don't mind going on protest marches. But, it's really the younger people I would expect this kind of vigorous, just say no activism from. And it's lacking. And I just wonder why Nigerians are so allergic to resistance. Because, they complain a lot. And yet, generally, they'd rather sit in their houses and do nothing, and even discourage friends and family who want to do something. So, what's the reason for this? Okay? The Nigerian government isn't particularly brutal compared to some governments in other countries where people protest more and face even more horrific backlashes. Again, I don't want to downplay the Nigerian government's capacity for violence. It exists, but they're not the worst by any means. And maybe is that the problem? Is the problem that the government here has never become bad enough for people to completely lose it and hit the streets? Is that the problem? I would say that there's enough happening to make people at least go beyond the absolute that they're doing at the moment. I mean, in Rivers State, where I come from, I mean, I'm sure some of you are tired of this topic, but I'm obsessed with it because I'm from there. President Tinubu and his favorite sidekicks have hijacked the democratic institutions in Rivers State, suspended the governor they say was elected in 2023. I say they say because, funnily enough, they were the ones who put him in power. But he has displeased them, and now they've decided he's worthless. They've put him on hold. They say it's only for 6 months, but their body language suggests that it's going to be longer than 6 months. I mean, for example, there are videos of government officials in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State, ripping down posters of the governor. I mean, he left office about a month ago. He was suspended about a month ago. If they're only here for 6 months, the military rulers, because basically what we have, for those of you who don't know the whole story, we have a state of emergency, we have martial law, we have military rule, which they say is going to last for about 6 months. Well, if it's only 6 months, why are you tearing his posters down? If it's only 6 months, why have you sacked all of his appointees? If it's only 6 months, why has the National Assembly been brought in to hijack the entire legislative process in the states? And the body language of the people who are imposing this undemocratic nonsense on Rivers State indicates that they have longer term plans to tyrannize us for longer than 6 months. But even if it was only 1 month, what right do they have to come and do what they've done? And anyway, I've complained about this. You can go to previous Nigeria Unfiltered videos for the past few weeks and you'll see me ranting and raving about this particular topic. But the point I particularly want to make today is that the people of Rivers State are behaving really strangely, in my opinion. I mean, they're all, with very few exceptions, complaining bitterly. But the way they're behaving makes the world think that they've accepted it, that, well, they may be a bit peeved, but they're not that bothered, and that some of them may even be quite happy, about what's going on. There's no reflection of the reality in terms of their behavior. So they're sitting around accepting the unacceptable, refusing to go out on mass protests. And by the way, this includes the governor himself. I mean, the governor himself, who has been suspended and humiliated, chucked out of office, being treated like God knows what, he has not made a single speech condemning his tormentors. He has not encouraged anybody to go and complain about it in the newspapers or at the United Nations or anywhere. There's a rumor that some trade unionists were willing to go on strike, but he kind of his body language discouraged strike action. I mean, I don't know if that story is true, but both the governor and the Rivers people generally cannot be happy about the status quo. And yet, if you look at what's happening from a distance, or even right up close, if you're in Port Harcourt, I've spoken to many people who are there, it's like, well, comme ci, comme ça, these things happen, it's no biggie, So this absence of protest, in my view, is a form of self-enslavement. And I have always been a bit of a firebrand, yes. If I were younger, I'd be on the streets waving a placard around. And, frankly, I wouldn't care if they arrested me. Because I have said this before and I will say it again. I personally believe it is better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Or to at least make your feelings known. Don't give people who have no respect for you, or respect for the rule of law, or respect for human rights, Don't give them an excuse to treat you like a doormat or a piece of trash, and let them think it's okay and that they can get away with it and that it doesn't bother you in the slightest. Courage, that's what we need. Nigerians, Tinubu, and all the people who let us down constantly or from time to time, they will continue unless you make your feelings known. Peaceful protest is not a crime, and I think Nigerians, if they want to respect themselves more and attract more respect from their leaders, they have to show that they're angry and hungry. Thank you for listening.